Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Board of Education special meeting. Today is June 9th and the time is 9:06. All meetings of the Board of Education are open to members of the public unless publicly noticed as confidential closed session as allowed by the law. Members of the public may address the board as outlined in the public comment section of the agenda. The audio of all meetings is recorded and a member of the public may be held liable for any slanders or otherwise defamatory statements. In consideration of the board and members of the audience, please turn off or silence your cell phones while in the boardroom. The San Marino Unified School District encourages those with disabilities to participate fully in the public meeting process. If you need a disability-related modification or accommodation, including auxiliary aids or services to participate in the public meeting, please contact the assistant to the superintendent at jdelatore at SMUSD.US or 626-299-7000 extension 1310. At least 48 hours before the scheduled board meeting so that we may make every reasonable effort to accommodate. Documents provided to a majority of the Board of Education regarding an open session item on the agenda will be made available for public inspection in the district office located at 1665 West Drive, San Marino, during normal business hours. In addition, such writings and documents may be viewed on the district's website at www.smusd.us. We are now in open session and the meeting has been called to order. Roll call, please. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb will be joining us shortly. Mrs. Ryan? Present. Mrs. Gill here? Okay, everyone please stand and face the flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda. So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Ryan, Mr. Chang, roll call please. Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan? Aye. Mrs. Gill? Aye. Public comments. Communications from the audience concerning matters on the special Board of Education meeting agenda may be heard at this time, but not responded to by the Board of Education. The Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matters pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Persons who wish to provide public comment will have three options to submit public comments. One, submit through an online form. The public had the opportunity to submit public comments for the open session on June 9th, 2025 from 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. on Monday, June 8th, 2026. I apologize, it says 25, but June 9th, 2026 from 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. on Monday, June 8th, 2026. Comments received during this time will not be read during the meeting, but will be provided to you by the Board of Education. Did we have any comments submitted? There were no comments. Thank you so much. Number two, request to speak during the meeting via Zoom. Is there anyone on Zoom this time?
There is one person.
Okay, please set the timer for 1 minute. During public comment, the meeting will pause 1 minute to take requests to speak. The raise hand function is used to take requests during the public comment period. For online attendees, press the raise hand icon to add yourself to the queue. For phone attendees, dial *9. The speaking order will be determined based on the order of requests received. Individual speakers will be unmuted and called to speak. And I believe the timer has been started.
Yes. Yes, my fault.
Thank you. Just please let us know when it's up.
40 seconds remaining.
Probably be shorter just to ask our one audience member if they have a question or comment.
One minute's up. Nobody's wishing.
Thank you so much. Number three, the third way is to request to speak during the meeting in person via the public comment card. There's no one in attendance in the audience, but did we receive any cards? Okay, thank you so much. Now let's move on to board strategic planning. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. De La Torre, who will lead the board through the strategic planning session. But beforehand, I just wanted to thank everyone yesterday for really valuable input and attention. And I think that we are really on the right track. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, President Gill and members of the board, executive team. Good morning, everyone, and it's just lovely to be back here at the Huntington to engage in this very important strategic planning session. And as we know, today is day 2. Yesterday, we had a very productive day. The Board of Education was able to hear perspectives from our Superintendent Student Advisory Council, comprised of approximately 30 students, grades 9 through 12. They conducted research amongst their peers in the areas of food services, grading reform, facilities, and CTE opportunities. By way of refresher, we covered the important topic of governance, discussing and understanding the distinctions and responsibilities of the Board of Education, the superintendent, and our accountant. We also presented the Board of Education with current state of the district. You heard from every cabinet member on their respective domains about what we accomplished over the 25-26 school year. In addition to that, you heard about current trends within the state of California in the area of education. We discussed both challenges and opportunities. And today we are going to delve into the board's establishment of 4 important broad-based goals for the 26-27 school year. So with that, I'm going to ask Mrs. De La Torre to help me with the butcher paper. And I'm going to start by asking the Board of Education if you had an opportunity to really think about what we discussed yesterday, and if you have any follow-up questions for either myself or the executive team. Yeah. Okay. All right, then we'll get it. So, Mr. Pong, if you could pull up the board's goals for 25-26, I think it was on the first page of the presentation that we started with yesterday.
Yep.
I want to put those up so the Board of Education can have a starting point. And we'll see where. So for 25-26, this is a review. We had 4 important broad-based goals, and they are as follows: evaluate and enhance an environment of safety and wellness. As you know, this is fundamental to being able to provide a good quality education. If our students and our staff are not in a safe, clean, healthy environment, that will impact the learning that goes on in our classrooms. And then maintain and implement fiscal health and sustainability. If we do not have the resources to be able to provide the comprehensive education that we currently do, that will have an adverse impact on the quality of education in the classrooms. And then fostering community awareness and understanding of SMUSD's mission and vision. Very important goal. We absolutely need to be transparent in all of our actions. We need to have a good, strong relationship with all of our stakeholders in the community. I say it over and over again, but without our relationship with the community, we would not be the school district that we are today. We rely on our community to partner with us in the area of educational excellence, and that is a very important goal. Prepare students for postgraduate success. This is really the culmination of what we do in education. We want to make sure that by the time our students are graduating San Maria High School, that they walk away with the skills, the knowledge, the expertise, and the ability to be able to be successful in their endeavors in college, university, and in their future careers. So with that, we want to start talking about what our goals are going to be for the 26-27 school year. And goals are very broad-based. They have to be measurable. We need to be able to really articulate what we mean when we're talking about specific actions that fall under each one of these goals. I will take these 4 goals that we developed today to the leadership summit, and we will work with our principals, assistant principals, and department heads to develop an action plan specific to your broad-based goals. And this will guide and direct the work that we do all of next school year. So this is really the center of the work that is going to get done and be accomplished on behalf of all students in San Marino. One thing that I wanted to make sure that we are all aware of, next year we are going to be very, very focused on being student-centered. It's going to be our theme as we move forward in the work that we do. We're going to start with the professional development with our entire faculty on being student-centered and really doing what we think is best for each child. And each child comes to us with different strengths and different skills and different attributes. And we need to be able to see the gift in every child. And that is really important in ensuring that each child gets the absolute best education that we can provide. So I just want the board to keep that in mind as we move forward. Now, some of these goals may look the same. Some of them you may decide are as important as ever, and we want to continue to work on those goals as we move forward. In San Marino, as you are aware, with respect to Board Goal B, maintaining and implementing fiscal health and sustainability is a goal that we continue to work toward. And that is really key and fundamental to the work that we do. Without that, we have to pause on innovation. We pause on everything that we do to deal with the crisis, the fiscal crisis that is before us. And we've had that experience over the last several decades. As those of you who have been in your positions for more than 1 decade, Mr. Chang, Mrs. Ryan, you have experienced those cycles when we don't have enough funding to be able to support our schools. And then we look to the community to help us get back on track. We are in a position now to have a plan B. We're in a position now where we have a buffer, which I think is really, really important as we move forward doing the work that we do. There is not going to be an interruption, at least for a year now, when in education, when we have a crisis. And we're hoping that we don't have a crisis, but the state of California's budget is volatile. It goes up, it goes down. Some years are good, some years are not good. The economy is something that we continuously monitor. Dr. Choi is really locked into what's happening at the state level. This year is good. We predict that the next year will be stable, but after that, we don't know. We simply don't know. There's a lot of areas in the world globally that are affecting our economy and will continue to affect our economy. What goes up must come down. And so we need to be realistic and prepare for that. Simply because we are one of the lowest funded school districts in the entire state of California, and only 70% of our revenue comes from the local control funding formula. 30% of our revenue comes from the 2 parcel taxes that we have, the San Marino Schools Foundation and the money that our PTAs raise. That is unlike any other district that I know of. And could we survive on what the local control funding formula provides as a school district? Yes. Would it look the way that it does today? No, it would not. It would look very, very different. We'd be focused mainly on academics, and we would not necessarily have all 4 A's intact. Things would have to be sacrificed. Programs would have to be eliminated. As you are aware, we are getting students into top universities and colleges. Very successful. We have a student who's going to MIT next year. We had a student go to MIT this year. That is one of the hardest higher institutes of education to get into, and we're successful in getting kids into that university. So we are so proud of all of the universities that our students are getting into this year, and we're going to have a comprehensive presentation on that tonight at the board meeting. Dr. Wolf will be here, and he will be sharing with the Board of Education all of the college acceptances and what they mean to San Marino High School. So I think that B is really important. Of course, A is very important, and we continue to work on making sure that we have an environment of safety and wellness. Yesterday, you heard from us that we have done a lot of work in the way of providing wellness centers at both the high school and the middle school. We also provide wellness support at the elementary schools. We have interns working under the direction of Tanya Al-Hindi at San Marino High School. So we have really continued to expand our wellness services and our mental health focus over the years, and we continue to do so on behalf of kids. Safety wise, we have been able to fence the middle school. It is no longer just an open campus. We've done both the front and the back of Pennington Middle School. We have finished the fencing project at San Marino High School. And as you know, through our efforts with Measure M, we're going to continue to work on safety throughout the school district. So that continues to be a focus. Dr. Choi was successful in getting a grant that provided new camera systems district-wide, and we're going to continue to try to get cameras in all of the areas that are currently uncovered. And so we're working toward that as well. And it is equally important that we talk to the community consistently in a variety of means on what we're doing, how we're doing it, where we're getting the resources. So making sure that our community understands our mission and vision is absolutely critical to advancing the school district's strategic plan. And preparing students for postgraduate success is really essential as well. Again, that's the culmination of all the work that we do. That's what we work toward from transitional kindergarten through 12th grade. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I know you're all anxious to get going. So with the first, and these are not in any particular order of importance, keep that in mind. That's why we labeled them A through D instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you don't feel like we have a number 1 goal and number 2 goal in the order of importance. So let's talk about evaluate and enhance an environment of safety and wellness. Board feedback on this goal. Is this something you want to carry over or something you want to do away with? And yes, President Doe.
I think all these goals are valuable, and I think that we need to look at the next evolution to build on these. I did do a little bit of research on my own about the evolution of that and getting some AI assistance on that as a starting point. But I think we need to, as a group, develop it into what really applies to us and our students. So may I offer as because we are still concerned about physical safety always, right? We're concerned about wellness always. And so the thing that came up would be, as a starting point, ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environments. So there's a lot you build from that: physical security, emergency preparedness, student wellness, school climate, and belonging, digital safety, and those are some of the set. So
Ensure safe, secure,
and supportive learning environment. So the physical safety, the resilient learning environment would be encapsulated in that. Resilience would be safe on threats, prepared for emergencies, emotionally supportive, technologically secure, and adaptable to future challenges. So just a starting point for discussion. I think that Dr. Choi and his department have done a great job evaluating and enhancing both physical, digital, and then Dr. Richter has done a great job on the safe, the wellness side, and also the belonging, the CDL, those things. So anyone?
Yeah, I was looking at the other school board goal, right? And this they put the whole board, but they try to put the each one character letters and they say something. They say CCC, like community communication or something like that. So I kind of thought about that too.
Mhm.
So we are ABC. So what I thought about is A as a assist and B as a balance, C as a community or communications, and D as a diversity. You know, that's the word catch word I kind of came up with it because it's much easier to remember because especially I'm a second English learner. So I needed the help to emphasize that. And for
So say that I'm sorry, say what the A was again.
A was assist
So-
and B as a balance. Yeah.
Okay.
Balance those budgets.
And C for the community. And D for the diversity. You don't need to stick with it. Because
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always forget, so I try to remember myself, and I just come up with my own.
That's good.
So I'll go next. I love that, President Gill and, Joshua have fully focused in and done some homework beforehand. The evaluating and enhancing safety in the environment needs to be at multiple levels. It starts and begins with our classified staff. When you first walk in the door, the secretary, the campus supervisor, the nurse, everybody needs to be kind of on board. The principal, all the training needs to happen. It cannot fall on just the principal. So if the principal is responsible for social emotional wellness, if the principal is responsible, or the AP is responsible for the monthly drills, we need to have basically at all levels in terms of trained and understanding of what we mean, what's our definition of enhancing, ensuring the safety and wellness, because it means different things. And when you have a catch-all umbrella, it's not that the clarity is not there in terms of what is the mandate for that position. And it should go beyond that position, right? Just because I'm a health aide doesn't mean I'm not thinking about other things of what I need to do to ensure everybody's safe.
I think that's a really good point. And I agree with you. All employees should be responsible for safety, and it is up to us to define clearly what that means so that we're not all operating under a different assumption when it comes to our responsibility.
I don't want, like, if the gate is left ajar, that somebody walks by and they think it's not them. We talked a little bit about the safety when the parents are out front. What are they looking at? Well, who's the Like, I've seen this man before, and you don't say anything. We stand there together, and so it's that active, proactive kind of engagement with our community. Right now, it's the school community for that.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you're bringing that up, because that's a good reminder that we need to follow up with allowing our community of parents the opportunity to also be trained. And that reminds me of the Peter Crabb model of safety through customer service, and doing it in a very positive and approachable way, so that your parents can say, hi, can I help you find something? Or, if there's a stranger who is not recognizable on campus, and they may have a legitimate reason for being there. And so we don't want to come across as being defensive or hostile. We want to be warm and welcoming, but we also want to give, any characters who do not have good intentions, the assumption that they have eyes on them, so that they're less likely to do harm to our students and staff.
And I think what Brian was saying too is like the preparedness, what the expectation. So we set it up front, like that is, we are not all in these little boxes of responsibilities.
Right.
Everybody is pitching in to accomplish this goal. Yeah, like you walk by, shut the gate if it's been left open. Look to see if somebody is wearing a badge. Just notice things, right? Notice if they're on the wellness side, if there's a child who seems withdrawn. I feel like, from my personal experience as a parent, some of these teachers don't feel, I can't speak to their feelings. They don't go beyond just the lesson. If you see a child who had an A and now is getting a D, what is going on? It's not typically, what is out of character on the wellness side and on the physical safety side. Noticing things like that.
So,
Yeah, that was my idea of this, talk about support, it's just not that's not.
Like engaging.
Engaging,
Yeah.
That's really just,
Mm-hmm.
we need to, not just like a student, but also coworkers and staffs that can call each other and.
Yeah, like operate as a team. To be as effective as possible, right? And I think we should also create an environment where staff feels comfortable, safe, whatever, is bringing up things where they could see some positive change. I mean, we want people to be able to speak up. Where we could improve.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
By the way, I think that the goal we set up last year, this fall actually really cover for most of our expectation and when we evaluate for last 12 months, actually we have a very achievement. So I don't know if that today we are going to set up another title or we are going to follow for this fall or just change the.
I think that's the discussion.
I think that's what-
Yeah,
that's
we
what
might
we're-
change it or
I-
change it.
I mean, I feel like we should change it.
Yeah.
I mean, each year we should
Right.
be building on our work. I mean,
I think the four like values are needed, but it's just changing what we're measuring for each core. So the first one previously evaluate and enhance is now becoming ensuring safe, secure, and supportive learning environments, which I think is great. But for me, because I want to quantify it and how is that measurable? Because similar to what Glenn and I were discussing yesterday, how do we have these metrics? While I agree with everything that we're saying, how do we measure that the staff is knowing a door can't be left ajar? Someone feels supported in doing these types of things. So I think it's all needed, but at what metrics and how are we measuring it to ensure we're reaching this goal so that staff executives can actually execute this.
So one way would be through surveys to ensure that there is an awareness of what their roles and responsibilities are. If you're looking for percentages and things like that, we can certainly do that through surveys. Is that what you're thinking?
So for example, when we're talking about awareness, yeah, definitely for last couple of years, we are also focused on the awareness, but to me, I still try to give more the data to see what we are doing.
Yeah.
And because you know what with my healthcare background, I've been work for other organization and I spend a ton of time to help to set up like the mental health issue. So, but I know for the last 12 months, we are very fine. We don't have the big issue, the mental health. But I know our neighborhood, the school district, Sunday, really have a mental health issue. And for last several years, we set up the wellness center at the high school and the middle school. And the administration of the state, we are depend to the elementary level. That's good things. But as John mentioned, I think we need to quantify. We hire for those the counselor. She how they really can dip in. Work with the concerned the student or the parent and really help to get some solution. So this issue I haven't probably you guys already did, but I for next several months I really like to see what we've done because I think right now in the government they spend a lot of money on mental health issue and a lot of the new product that come out going to help. So is that our counselor they catch up knowledge wise and also they really think about the California supplemental what they're trying to provide. So I think that this need to be followed up. Another thing is about the prepare student for postgraduate access. Yesterday I mentioned about the even we have a very good result for college admission, but as you know, this community, the parents have a high expectation, even too high. So then, how will the school district and the high school want to communicate with them? Because I think the education is not just a single purpose. Then we prepare them to go to college. I think or after they graduate from the San High for the next 15 years, I think that's what you can see is that they're successful or not successful. So I mean we need to think about this kind of issue. So well, I'm glad that we also discuss about CTE. So the CTE also is prepared for them. Yeah, see they have a alternative, to get used to the next step for their career. Yeah.
I think that's really, really great point. Let's stay on A.
Yeah.
We
are talking about.
Yeah, let's stay on A and then I think we're about.
Stay on the.
It's okay. I just sat on your purse. I would have just sat down on your purse, but thank you.
But to Joanna's
Okay.
point, if I may add about quantifying, I'm wondering if this is somewhere where we can bring AI in, if it's part of Power School, when we see a grade, it drops a certain percentage, and you triangulate in like your absenteeism. Like there are definitely red flags that we know that could help a teacher in flagging them. Because yes, they have a lot of students. And I think it is hard to say like, oh, it's this one out of 200, or like however many people that they teach throughout the day in their 5 sections. It's hard to stay on top of every little thing, but if those alerts come up and then there's just could be like steps that go up. Have I reached out to the parents personally? Which I think that personal connection is so much more valuable than a Power School progress report thing popping up because those things just pop up all the time. So
I'd actually like to see the goal
continue to have the wellness part, because I think the, like what Tanya leads is wellness, and what her data shows does have a metric and is quantified, and it should stop probably be, like continued, not just ending at learning environments. It can be ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environments, that promote student wellness and belonging. And that way, her branch is included, like, very obvious it's included, because all of what the wellness center does at across 4 school sites, there is data there that measures who visits, who doesn't. And then we can build upon how we can reach students even before they think they need it.
I like that a lot, because you're folding that in, to the broad-based goal. And that really is most of what I'm hearing from the Board of Education, that providing metrics on how well we're providing mental health supports and services to students. And we can do all of those things. We can provide you with that data as we move along, and perhaps we can survey the students at the beginning of the year and then follow up with the survey at the end of the year, so that we can see whether or not there's any movement on how well we're doing in those areas. I also think that it's really, it all comes together, and belonging is so essential to a student's success. If a student feels as though they belong on our campuses and they're a part of the school culture, they will do far better academically than they would otherwise. So that word right there is really, really important. Yes, Mrs. Ryan.
So, sorry, I was choking there. So to Francesca's point, in terms of progress monitoring, there is, it's easier when the teacher has 32 kids to look at this kid's grades are falling, right? Emotionally, they're not really connected in class. But there should be a way in which we can gather that information in terms of a progress monitoring. When we talk about iReady and we have a beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year assessment, to Joanna's point, there needs to be some measurement, perhaps SMART goals, perhaps a way in which you can get that data quickly, because Joanna's right that there may be some stigma of a certain group that just will not use mental health. Perhaps it's the belonging. So when we see that they're only in all AP classes and they don't have any sports, they don't have any outside activity, they're not engaged in science Olympiad, they're not engaged in speech and debate, they're not doing any other programs. So that should probably give us an indication that this kid is just purely just focused on the one area. And in terms of social and emotional wellness, we're not really addressing the whole child. What we're saying is, okay, just focus on all your AP classes, and as long as you're getting good grades, it doesn't matter. But there's another layer or component to that. Because kids will sit in your class and they are just functioning, they're well versed in their subject area, but at the same time, social emotionally, they're not doing well. So that's the kind of that's what I'm hearing them say.
And I think that is absolutely spot on in terms of identifying students early who are not as engaged as others on campus and not feeling that sense of belonging, and providing them with support and services to ensure that they do have a sense of belonging is critical in their future success. So let's go ahead and review what we have so far. We have ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environments that promote student wellness and belonging. All employees need to be responsible for safety. We need to develop our definition of safety and wellness. We need clear messaging for all employees so that we're all aligned in our mission and vision when it comes to safety. Preparedness, everyone's job to secure campus. We need to make sure that all employees understand that it is their job and it is everyone's job, despite your position. Notice and act when you see a child who is withdrawn. So all eyes on that, whether you're the custodian, the food service employee, an instructional assistant or the superintendent. If you identify a child, say something, speak up, and give that child the support and service that they need. Create an environment where staff feels free and comfortable to speak up when they see areas where we can improve as a school district. So we can create some system in which that can happen. And we need to survey employees on their understanding of their safety responsibilities to be able to accurately measure whether or not by the end of the year, people are assuming that responsibility, that they understand it clearly. We need to provide student mental health data to the board. As an example, percentage of students served, number of student visits, student survey on wellness centers, how well are they being served in those environments. Evaluate how our counselors are performing, evaluate whether or not they are meeting the needs of our students' mental health, evaluate mental health programs and tools for efficacy, determine what tools are being used by our counseling services and mental health centers to determine whether or not they are strong and effective. Monitor students who have excessive absenteeism for mental health support. So those are red flags that the board talked about. And so if we see red flags, we need to be able to have eyes on that student and provide support and services.
And with your expertise, could you identify what those red flags are?
Yeah, identify
Not
red flags. Yes.
And Brad has a very good point that we can using AI because of
you like that one, didn't you?
no, I saw because of one reason I said that it kind of sparked me is because I was keep looking at our school how they're using the AI, and one of the school they've been doing it is they kind of so the way they're measuring the student mental health, it can be controversial, but what they do is they open up the chatting system for the each peers, but AI is analyzing their chat because AI is asking you, how are you feeling today? The student's not going to answer it freelancing, right? But they let friends talk about it and have conversations, and they start together in the data and safely, and they try to measure that how students doing well socially, and then they try to metrics on.
Yeah.
It can be very controversial because some
Well, it's being monitored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's like.
Yeah, so we gotta be very safe,
Safe. But
yeah, safely and be careful with it when you present to the community. I don't know how they're gonna react it, but that was kind of things that click on me when you mentioned. Because I was interested that that's what you see.
Like a chat box and home
Yeah.
every day. How are you?
Yeah. So you have chat box and you can always chat with your classmate and everything, but AI is usually the kind of analyzing the behind it, everybody thinks safely or something like that.
Yeah, and so in my circle, my superintendent circle, I'm hearing that is very controversial. And of course, you've heard all the horror stories, right, about kids forming unhealthy relationships with chatbots and doing really bad things and not ending well. So this is, pretty revolutionary, but it is something that we should monitor and have on our radar. But you nailed it when you said it's controversial. So as long as we know that and we look at that, I mean, and I think that may be something that parents can decide for themselves if they want their kids to, because the parents are really going to have to monitor that on their own. President Gill.
One last thing, or maybe it's not the last thing, but another thing I wanted to add to this was to align, measure, and projects and facilities development to a safe, secure, supportive environment as we're developing these projects to build in safety features that are we've talked about, less intrusive. So it's like the architectural features that seem friendlier, but also have them consistent across the 4 sites and the district office. So like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning this is what I just want to say because the safety. So I think the building we are reviewing for the project, yeah. So we always need to also think about the safety issue. Yeah, this community look very positive so far. Nothing happened. Like if something happened. So for those you have the safety monitoring system, yeah, we have to invest. Yeah.
Okay. So are we ready to move to our second goal?
I just wanted to continue on this one, similar to what Joseph and Fran is saying, the physical safety aspect, right? That
Yeah.
all staff is responsible, but it leads me to also thinking about the zero eyes and all the cybersecurity and all the other things that have been implemented.
Yeah.
Can you remind me that zero eyes we were on with the timer, right? There's a certain time frame. Was it the camera system where at a certain time frame to 3 years or 4 years where we have to do that?
We initially started with a 3-year contract and it was a pilot. It initially started, I believe, with about 15 cameras. And since then, we've expanded it to cover additional cameras. I believe it's now 25, 30 cameras. It doesn't cover every single camera.
Mhm.
But that's an opportunity where if we feel that that's something that's important and we should cover more, have more additional coverage, explore that.
I don't know if anyone else had thoughts.
Yeah, it's, so that would fold into digital safety. Which also could fold into, you know, our cybersecurity, and being really proactive in cybersecurity. I loved hearing yesterday that we are, a model bridge from that, because I think these attacks are more and more prevalent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much information we're safeguarding, and we have to be really, really, aware of that.
But no, that's still. Not every.
Okay. All right, so we've got cybersecurity, digital safety, zero health technology expansion. Anything else?
And that's an AI framework, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all of that's in there.
We can put that picture, AI.
And I'd like to suggest to the board also, as we are digging deep and delving into this whole safety, wellness, physical environment, all of that AI, we've added components, whether it is when we are building, like we're talking about the bond, and you know, once the camera did focus on the right spot, but now it's going to refocus, we've got to really realign where our security and our gaps are in security, because we've now put a new building up. We've now moved the structure. So now the camera that's facing here may not be as appropriate as if it was facing somewhere else. So we need to look at that shift. But also I want maybe the board to think about whether this is something accomplishable, Linda, in a 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year graduate program, because as we add on things, when we're talking about do we shift and move to a new goal, or we're staying with this one, looks like we're all staying with this one, the importance of it, but now we're going tier 2, right?
Right.
And then now is that something that's achievable in 1 year? Because I don't want the pressure on the school district, well, I mean, on our cabinet staff, to then just, oh, wow, you know, we've got to train these people, and then we did new hiring. Now what about all these teachers? What about these additional cameras? We're shifting, we're going out this area now, we're not focused over here.
Right.
So when we're looking at that, I want us to think about a 1, 2, or 3 year plan, because it's realistic, because AI is shifting all the time, right?
Yep.
And as AI and technology and the community and the kids get smarter, I will tell you there are a number of school districts that have had breaches in their system where, yeah, you've got the firewall up, but they're coming behind you. There's a back door, and they find it. Oh my gosh, the conversations I've had, and they have it, and they have you almost like, okay, you have us, now what, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that when we're looking at that, It's something we might want to say, these are the things that were accomplished in year one. This is what we're looking at, because we're building. I mean, how are you gonna achieve the fact that, you know, this is a safe space? It's a inside out classroom, but now how is it safe? You know, we're gonna tell you it's not safe right now, and we need special class to make sure our kids are safe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or shady or something physical or simple like that.
Right.
So I do
Absolutely.
want us to think about that. Not necessarily that it can't be a reach, but it might be a 2-year, 3-year plan to accomplish all.
That's a really excellent point, and I do appreciate you bringing that up, Mrs. Ryan, because that is absolutely true. Many of the things that you see up here are not a start and stop for 1 year. It may be ongoing for multiple years, and we may not be able to achieve all of this in year one. As an example, aligning Measure M with this goal, it's going to take multiple years because construction is going to go on for multiple years. So as long as the Board of Education understands that, you know, we will continue to measure our progress. But it is an ongoing project that will continue over multiple years. So we're not going to complete all of that work at the end of 26-27. Thank you for bringing that up.
Hopefully next year we might say, oh, we gotta go long, and no one will say.
I think so. It's 10 o'clock. I think we should move
Yeah.
to goal
Okay.
B.
Yes.
And then also I really do like Jonathan's suggestion about the letters. And maybe we go back and look at later like what word really fits. I think it's a good attention grabber too. Like so we just just something to keep considered. So goal B.
Yes. You had some suggestions. You said
I did have a
Yeah.
suggestion for that one. So right now we're at maintain and implement fiscal health and sustainability. I think, you know, it's something that we touched on yesterday about, I wrote down what you said. You said, great, some events. What investments matter most over the next decade to ensure long-term student success, district vitality, and sustainability? So maybe strategic sustainability and future investment. So we're looking at where we put our money, but like towards in the future, what education is going to maybe this is where we put in that we work on the roadmap that we discussed yesterday.
Strategic sustainability and future investments.
So it's more like long range financial planning, enrollment sustainability, workforce recruitment and retention, technology and AI readiness, endowment and professional development. So all the things that now it seems like we have stabilized, which is wonderful. And hopefully we are being sustainable. But we need to now, like Mrs. Ryan said, go to tier 2.
Yeah.
What are we doing with that? What, you know, if we've built up some reserves that we've talked about.
Right.
I think that we are in a good place. We're putting our district in a good position. If something happens,
Yes.
there's not going to be this, oh my God, what are we
Emergency
gonna do?
crisis. Yeah.
If we bought ourselves some time. Not a lot, but
Right.
enough. And anybody, please jump in.
So what is are you wording as strategic sustainability and future investments? And then we're continuing?
Okay. With fiscal health, do you want to say with fiscal health?
I feel like the fiscal part really needs
The word is still in there.
fiscal really needs to be in there. I know that sure, in my opinion, I think that yes, we've stabilized
Strategic, fiscal, sustainability, and future.
Yeah, she's just not writing it. It's
Yeah.
there. Yeah, strategic.
Fiscal.
Yes. Just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean it isn't there. The staff has to work on all of this.
Right.
Safety has to be there. The budget and it has to be there. So they're working on it. It's just how can we refine it and develop it and measure it, right? The evaluation. Yeah. And
Can we come out what is the future investment?
I would
Give
say
a couple of examples.
CTE paths. Because this is also what our investments are fiscal, right? And I think things that we work on up here, I think it's actually great when they cross over multiple goals because that means they're really worthwhile. If we're looking at a CT investment also helps with postgraduate success, you know, we're really looking at today's work environment and what you know, what kind of jobs are going to be out there and where
Yeah.
to spend our money. Also,
So-
our hiring plans, our looking at enrollment, all those things.
Should we clarify this? So it's future program investments, future innovation investments? Because when you read it just like this, it looks like we're going to be investing in stocks and bonds.
Yeah,
Of the
not-
market,
not-
but we're not because we can't.
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
So what does the board want to really focus on in terms of investing some of the committed monies? And we have the categories, right, Dr. Choi? That the board has already, you want to run through those categories really quickly?
But does it overlap with the much?
Hmm?
The section D and E, if you just, you know, the student future, that's it.
But I don't mean future as in their futures. I think the future, like our roadmap for our district, what education is going to look like in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Like what investments matter most over the next decade to ensure long-term student success, district vitality, and sustainability. Those investments need to be defined by the group.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. And in a previous board meeting, Linda, I don't know if you remember, when we talked about the money that we have set aside for reserve, and I touched upon, it can't all be on facilities. We reserve everything on facilities
Yeah.
or
Right.
on staffing or things like that. We need to focus, reinvest our energies towards future programs. Whether it is, right, so I then said, let's look at that. Steve and I did say that.
Yeah.
At that board meeting, yeah.
So from the last board study session, we did identify the 5 committed balances. And this is for reserves, right? So one is enrollment and revenue stabilization, that's 2 million. Fiscal stabilization reserve, 6 million. 5 million for capital facilities and infrastructure. 1.5 million for instructional materials textbook, and then an additional 1 million for academics and program innovations.
There
There you go.
And those things could be bullet points. So I'm not putting a dollar amount to them here, obviously, but as our priorities, right? I mean, program innovation and also just school health, maintaining balanced budgets, making smart decisions about our spending and hiring.
Strategic fiscal sustainability and future academic and program innovation investments. Does that sound good?
Better. It kind of defines what those future.
Well, we still have to define it.
Yeah.
Like if we said it's gonna be in computer science and technology, then we've started to go down that road, right? Or we're saying it's CTE, it's gotta be college career readiness, it's gotta be that, then we're saying that's what it is, or science. or
Yeah.
Well,
health, or-
I think, like, you know, keeping our textbooks, our curriculums up to date is very important. I think continuing Dr. Richard's work, we're building on the STEM scopes. Now we're looking at continually evaluating what's working and what's not, right? Because we can use the data from our scores to say, and I'm sure there's also word of mouth out there among staff what is good. And so I'm sure there's some things that we're ready to focus on that, right?
Yeah.
That was one thing that was really advantageous when we were looking at elementary science curriculum, is our middle school teachers, science teachers, came to the elementary meetings and they provided an overview of what STEM scopes offered and how that could translate to elementary. And so that was extremely beneficial. So they do know what's working, what's not working.
Yeah. So remember, we're going to keep this broad, right? And then the staff will come back with the proposal. So you guys are the what and we're the how. So updated.
Clarification, but textbooks, materials, adoption, all of that's under general funding. It's not under the money that we have reserved, right?
Well, we set aside 1.5 million for instructional materials and textbooks, right, Stephen? It's in the committed
1.5.
1.5 million. So yes, it is in the,
But it's spent already. We just authorized the,
some of it, but not all of it.
No, we didn't tap into reserves or STEM scopes. For STEM scopes, we were able to leverage, I would say that restricted funds, to
Restricted
funds.
Yeah. But we still have math. We have math adoption coming up, right? And then what is the next one after math? English language arts. So we're going to need that money for those adoptions.
But could we shift some out if like restricted funds could cover that? For the rest?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we have the restricted money,
Money shifted to program innovations, I think would be
uh-huh.
something desirable.
because if there's no money, there's no need to invest in a college career pathways, but there's funding for CTE.
Yes, and we're going to explore that because there's lots of opportunities to apply for grant funding for a variety of different CTE programs. And so we would explore that before spending our money. But if we needed as an example to align Measure M, like the CTE wing at the high school, with a CTE program that we're developing, we need to outfit that classroom with equipment and things that, you know, the bond was not going to pay for. That's where we would be making a strategic investment in a CTE classroom environment.
So the is up there.
CTE.
I think that's, it's rather than, like CT is an example of a pure investment in which we will focus. But we continue at saying strategic fiscal sustainability and future investments that protect educational excellence. And support long-term, because we're talking about facilities, right? Long-term facilities, maybe we can tie in something about facilities, because then I just don't, if we're thinking that this is gonna stretch for a couple of years, I don't want us to just tie it to. So
Make it broader.
Yeah.
Make it broader.
Yeah.
Universal.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. And future investments that promote.
Protect
academic-
future, what? Protect future.
Well, I think you could put broader categories like program innovation. That's kind of like what I was
Oh,
alluding
yeah,
to.
protect educational excellence.
Ah,
Future investments that promote educational excellence and supports our long-term facilities building needs or something.
Well, I don't think we should put facilities in the goal title.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a category, a subcategory.
That can be
Yeah.
worded, yeah.
For sure.
we can put this underneath so that it's clarifying.
I think Measure M, management, bond management is a big part of that. I think, strategic partnership with the foundation needs to go in there, where that can also go with the community, but I think it goes into fiscal also. Because, PTA,
Just that partnership
Yeah.
is so important.
and it goes to both, like community partnership, but it's also really in the fiscal with those two organizations for how, and if we are more intentional, let's be more intentional with both of those. I think you've done a great job, Linda, with really connecting with our PTA presidents, and when you brought them in and not made them feel separate, like they really are a big part of why our schools look like they do with especially at the elementary levels.
Very important.
So important.
Yeah, it's your ability to make them part of the team.
Yes.
It's really important. And also I would put in the affiliates as well. They
Mm-hmm.
run our summer programs and they make huge contributions to our school district, whether it's the Amage, the medical arts, the scoreboard. I'm talking to them about that.
Right.
So, it's gotta happen with
Yeah.
all of these partnerships.
Agreed. So critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you could just put community, also like other Chinese club, Rotary.
Yeah.
I
like
put all
community-
educational partners
Yeah.
because I could, fill up
Yeah.
this whole page with all of our educational partners, but I think we have a list of these people, which includes PT affiliates, Caltech, the Huntington, the San Marino Chinese Club. I mean, we have so many educational partnerships that, yeah, we've got that covered here.
I think we should prioritize, continue prioritize grant writing.
Yes.
And if that position needs support, you look at that because it's free money and we have amazing programs. Because what we do with that money is probably incomparable. And that really, probably putting that message out into the community more with the grants, when you would probably go into the C goal, because if people realize like we are doing so much work just to get extra money, to make our programs as robust as they are, and I think that awareness is so important.
Great.
And also, explore the some partnership with the some enterprise. of the big organization.
Especially the underutilized ones, right? In mental health. Yeah,
Yes.
because I'm aware of, Chinatown services, but I'm also aware of UCLA's Safety A program, which also, they come in, they train the staff, and they are able to help with, assessment, what to do in terms of, developing a safety plan for the child and other things. I'm sure we already do it, but it's
Yeah.
a systematic way of bringing in, outside partners because they're interested in how to support, right? They've got this wonderful program,
Yeah.
just like, Chinatown Services as well.
So it's called Safety What program?
Safety A,
Safety Aid?
A,
A.
the letter A.
Oh, just the letter A. Safety Aid program. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look for that. Yeah. Thank you.
So we have long range financial planning in there. Enrollment sustainability. Like I think when we are talking about, our numbers have gone up. But are we stabilizing? Like, is this what, we're pretty much wanting to cap it at 3,300. right?
Yeah. And that's
And
our,
I think that's a good thing to put out to the community as well, because there's been a lot of question about, are these projects increasing capacity? Well, they are increasing program capacity, not necessarily student capacity.
right. But also keep in mind that we have on our campus 3 and 4-year-olds that we've never had on our campus before that we didn't build our schools to that capacity. So now that we're required to educate transitional kindergarten students, we have to have classrooms that are developmentally designed for that age group, and we didn't have them. So the reason that our elementary schools are growing is simply because we have a younger class of students that we're now educating that we didn't have before. So there are 4 sections at Carver and 3 at Valentine. So that's 7 classrooms that we didn't used to have.
It's not like we're packing each
Right.
grade. It's at the beginning stages, so that therefore all other grade numbers should remain pretty constant.
Yes, yeah. Because we have our staffing ratios that are set, right? And we have kinder through 3rd grade at 24-1, and transitional kindergarten is 10-1. So 10 students per adult in the classroom. So that is a much tighter class size ratio that is mandated by law, which also means that we're probably going to have more classrooms for that grade level. And the other issue is that at Carver Elementary, we do have a manual immersion program that is a 50-50 model. So we have 2 teachers for every grade level, right? So that means that there's an additional classroom of kids for every grade level that is necessary. But that doesn't mean that we're, recruiting more kids. It just means that we have to have more space.
Well, that, to me, that goes under program capacity and
Right.
even TK's program capacity.
Yes.
Because we're required by law to
Yes,
have it.
right, correct,
So,
correct.
So. I
Yeah.
think that's what we've been,
So we're not, we don't need to recruit students to San Marino. And so we're just filling empty seats. That's all we do is fill empty seats. With legacy kids and district kids, and business owner kids. We're not, looking to increase capacity beyond the 3,300 kids that our schools can comfortably hold and house. Okay. So-
Another thing, I think we are not successful so far. I've been talking so many years, to approach for the alumni. But I know this is very sensitive issue, because we are the school district is very humble, not to be very proactive, to approach for the alumni. And now, right now they have an organization. They've been, armed for alumni. But I think they still have an opportunity for the funding from the successful alumni.
Yes, and I do believe that the San Marino Schools Foundation is now tracking our graduates and keeping a list of our alumni going forward. In addition to that, there is the San Marino High School Alumni Association, and they are sponsoring a Hall of Fame every couple of years now. It's not going to be annually. And so there's a very dynamic group of community members who are alums who are putting this together. And the list of distinguished recipients is nothing but impressive. And I'm actually going to be working with our PIO to get something out on our list recipients, because I think it's really remarkable to see the talent that has come from our schools.
And I think we don't want to compete with the organization.
Right.
They will have the school, but what I'm seeing, they might really approach professionally. I think even we are a K-12 school district, we are not a university or college.
Right.
Usually the successful the donor, they would rather give to the university.
Yeah.
But I believe that they still have a chance. We haven't. Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up. And the school district has been partnering with the Alumni Association to provide support and assistance whenever and wherever we can. In addition to that, we're looking to engage as many alums as possible for messaging and social media elevation, just to get those messages out there that these incredible people came from San Marino schools. And I think that's really important to elevate our reputation. And a lot of people don't know that these amazing people have graduated from San Marino High School.
Well, the reason, we are not able to set up a database, when they graduate from the high school. So then there's no contact.
Yeah.
Just like my own scholarship, it's been 11 years. So I start to try to know what happened for those alumni.
Yeah.
Either they stick with the medical research or not. Right.
Yeah.
I think that is a very, very valuable data.
Yes.
But I mean, in this community, they not want to help, but they have a ceremony every year. But after the afternoon, nothing happened. And then the one year we find the high tech the CFO, but then even invite to the Rotary.
Mhm.
But I don't think that they have a further, follow up.
Yeah.
So this can consider is like an extra revenue,
Yeah.
free money.
Right.
But you really need to. And besides that, it's not just a money issue. The successful alumni they can serve as a mentor and the student, they can share the successful experience.
Also with the community, right? We said, we're talking about the alumni, strong alumni. Mention. I think what Joseph talking about is based.
So I mean, I think I'm the one I really like to talk about this one. We need to see that we want to get more ownership, to take the ownership, to approach the alumni instead of let the
Foundation. do it.
Mm. Yeah, I can certainly talk to the team about that and find out what other high performing school districts are doing. It's usually the school's foundation that does the fundraising and the engagement with alums.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
The foundation
Yeah.
can accept the money
Sure.
and give to the school district, but I think we really need to set up a database, So those they can feedback to us, like they are in the business owner or so they can share about our business CTE for the medical research expert, so they can have a medical academy. Yeah, that's it's it's a good way. Yeah.
Okay, we'll look into that. That's good feedback.
Do we create the email for alumni? We don't, right? Like let's say you graduate from high school.
Oh, alumni.
Yeah.
We do. On our website, we used to have a self sign up where if you are an alumni of the high school, you can indicate the year you graduated and then your information, demographic information. But I know over the years, a number of organizations outside the district have been maintaining some sort of alumni
Yes.
database, right?
Right.
But we, as a district, do not centrally maintain that.
Yeah. And I know the schools foundation has been better about that, because they're collecting the emails and information from all the kids that graduated. But we'll look into what is possible and what is, what's possible on that. And I've attached that to the strategic partnerships with San Marino Schools Foundation and PTAs and all educational partners. So we can work on figuring that out and bringing back information to you. Okay. Anything else under strategic fiscal sustainability and future academic program innovation investments to protect educational excellence and support long-term growth?
I had something down where I think, if we have like a North Star question for each goal, to see, keep us centered in that. So, for the first one here. Sorry about that. Are we making decisions today that strengthen SMUSD 10 years from now? Basically.
So you can send those to us, send them to me so that I can work with my team when we are building our action plans.
Well,
Yeah, that's really helpful.
yeah. I mean, I think that goes to us too. So,
Yeah.
is this in the best interest of kids?
Yes, right.
Like that.
And that has to be our basic center of decision making, right? We have to think about that and look through that lens every time we are developing a goal or thinking about a goal or making a decision.
Okay.
Okay, so any more under this one? Are you ready to move on? All right, so let's move on then. Your goal C is foster community awareness and understanding of SMUSD's mission and vision. President Gill, do you have a suggestion on that?
I think we can move more into, community partnership and shared ownership of the mission and vision. So it's sort of like the next level of community engagement. It's more than fostering. I think we've fostered the community awareness. I think we need to more partner with our community.
Okay, so partner. Do you have a suggestion?
No.
Okay. Partner with community.
Our community partnership and shared ownership with
We're using like action words.
yeah.
We're gonna try to fix these so that they're action words. They start with action word. So partner.
Bill.
So when you say the partner, what we expect those partners to do for the school district?
Maybe your example, like, we gotta provide the database to, to school foundation, so they can reach out. And
Because we've been.
Does every stakeholder see themselves as a partner in student success? And let me develop that. I mean,
Deepen community partnerships.
deepen.
Community partnerships.
You know, we've been talking those are partners within our community, right? The city car already in Chanka.
Yeah.
Right, it's been for years, what, 2 weeks, 4 years. Yeah.
So deep.
Yeah.
Should we say strengthen?
Strengthen.
Enhance. Enhance community partnerships.
Well, this would be like our relationship with the city.
Right. So in strengthen. Build. Rebuild. Construct. Enhance community partnerships. I like that.
Enhance is nice too.
I like that.
Well, actually, there's a need to do that because you see right now the medical art academy, if you know, we are looking for the industry, but we have we are not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to figure out how we can develop the
Okay.
partnership.
Yeah. For more internships and program sustainability, right? Connecting our community to our programs. I also think that is really where our PIO comes in. Really, I think with adding Rochelle to the team, this is a natural evolution that it would be more enhanced because this is our strength and one. I mean, we have somebody basically devoted to this goal.
Yes.
Agreed. So if you have any, Rochelle, input here.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of my role is being a liaison, so sitting down with any community partner, they always have some kind of counterpart to me. So being able to sit down and make those connections and having that almost open door. So whether it's university, local community college, the city, I know there's a counterpart there as well. So creating that space for open communication. So there is open dialogue always, and work together to.
That's a really good point with the other educational institutions. You know, with looking at our Caltech, USC, PCC, we have another one. Yeah.
And also, I think we can, if we find out that some is a very good promising, we can approach them individually. You know, because when we said, Caltech, the PCC, so then we want to establish the official partnership. They may have to go through their board approval. But individually, I can give you a couple example. But like we have other nine or we have some student parents before, and they are like the big figure in the community or in the nation. For example, I definitely went to the healthcare engineer. I introduced, we have one parent is a Nobel Prize winner, right? Even he already passed away, but we can bring the wife and the kid come back to talk. Yeah, I think this is the opportunity, to when they come, they they are endorse us or even not really endorse, but they give us an opportunity. So I have to believe the community, the parent community and the parents, they like to see this happen. Like, right now we have one UAC, the team, I think the honorary is going to retire. So we should have to, and he is the student parent before, so we can bring it back and give the talk. I remember 10 years ago in San Marino High School, we to have some the talk series. Yeah, but we invite a couple of very famous, professor or some figure to talk. I think we should, yeah, think about, yeah. But I know that it is a typical, everyone is busy, but we invite them, we have to make sure everything not the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true.
Our audience is really our school, our high school, right, our students, because if you were to bring in this Nobel Prize winner's family or whatever they want to talk about in terms of research, you'd want to bring it back to our students,
Right.
high school students. If you are bringing in a former alumni who is now living in Italy and he is the CEO of, it's harder to bring in, right? It's just not as available. So he only comes in for the for the alumni
Right,
every 3-year event now or something.
yeah.
One of the things I also want to add and put on our plate is that while we do have our public information officer, while we have people that do specific things, we ought to think about strategically building out our team. So what I was trying to say before, that it is not just the principal and AP that is in charge of safety. Everybody in this room and every staff member should be aware of safety. It is not just up to our PIO. I'm sorry, the acronyms are very hard for me. It is not just up to our PIO to then make this bridge. It really is a triangle, right? I'm talking about the offense versus defense. I'm going to go back to basketball, right? So there are multiple ways in which we can approach the system. When we're talking about enforcing, developing, deepening community awareness and understand, it is really the job of all of us, right?
Right.
And so while I will pick up the phone and say, Linda, guess what's happening over here? If she's available, she comes out. But if she's not available, then Clark's got to come out.
Yeah.
And Joseph's got to come out. Like it's not like, okay, well, and I'm not minimizing her role. What I'm saying is we need to build out capacity. We're such a small school district that we can't just say, okay, only Joseph is going to work on medical arts and building interns, right? Joshua needs to be helping. Joanna needs to be helping. Jennifer Delatorre needs to be helping. If she knows of something that's happening, we've got to share it out, right? But when do we have that opportunity? Because as board members, I'm not informed about all the activities. Just like Joseph mentioned this past weekend, we were invited to a Kent Medical, right? Is it Kent Medical? Event. I of course didn't go. That's on me. But I should have gone to help Joseph to really just figure out the lay of the land, right? Figure out things, because he's out there networking, poor Joseph, you know, like just always. And then I was like, no, you know, and she's at my house, you know, he's like,
She had to walk Logan.
yeah, fine, so walk it up.
Logan's
No, but he'll ask my sons, where's your mother? And so stop asking them where I am, Joseph. It's not a good thing. Okay. So all I'm saying is we need to build capacity. I know that Jason's work on the what did you work on in terms of the community, the city thing? The city within Control County.
DEI.
Oh, the DEI?
Right? So like he's right, you've got your staff working out there,
Yes.
getting a pulse of
Yes.
the city and what's going on there. But that's gotta that also, you know,
Yeah.
maybe he rotates out or whatever he
Yeah.
does. But I'm just thinking that this goal is not achievable if it's just you meeting with
Mhm.
those 6 organizations over
Right.
and over,
Yeah.
over and over.
Agreed.
Like,
So
it
do you
just-
mean expand community partnership?
expand, but also
And enhance.
even our capacity,
Yeah.
right? Because what I'm trying to say is the system is not going to hold. Okay, Linda is not here for 2 weeks. Now what, right? Like there was this big event going on. Okay, so how do we marshal? Okay, we go to Lena, and then you know,
Yeah.
but she's got to be there building up the relationships too, because she has different connections, right? She's connected to our parents, our curriculum, other things. So Joseph, sorry I did not go. I know you were trying to get to that. But I'm just saying that as we build out, we still need to look at the strengths of our board, the strengths of our cabinet, the systems that we have in place.
Yes.
Because the system's not gonna hold. Not
Right.
at this rate.
Yeah. So team approach to communications, entire team should be engaged in community relations and then build leadership capacity amongst team members. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else on this one? Are we ready to go to the next one?
Before we go to the next one,
Sure.
just don't forget those grandparents. They still really
Yes.
in this community, and they influence their children, and they design the paper. They want to stay in our school district or not. So I hope we also have the time to greet to the grandparents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Engage grandparents, right? We're going to, we'll definitely do that with our kids.
This community is very different.
Yeah.
Grandparents.
Yes.
Now the
A
influence.
lot of influence. You're absolutely right.
So you think we can invite them? Maybe like a breakfast or something?
Yeah,
Right.
you know, what we've thought about in the past is inviting them to come to the dance performances, the speech performances, whatever their interests are, and maybe copying their tickets
Yeah.
to get them re-engaged. And a teacher at San Marino High School once had this idea, I think it might have been Russell Silver, that we could allow some high school students to get community service for supporting our grandparents in the community, like running errands for them, or you know, it would have to be a pre-approved you know, situation, but being of some help to our senior citizens in the community. And then that would be a way to connect them, if they don't have grandchildren in our schools, connect them to our schools, and so that they can see the value of our educational system.
I think this is somewhere too, which is just, I'm remembering from yesterday that Mr. Ching brought up about, our boosters, like, getting our boosters for, I mean, I know what we're talking about, but getting them working together so that it's more effective and hopefully can bring success to more programs
Yeah.
universally.
Yeah, to recognize that maybe once a year have a
Yeah.
booster fair, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone gets together.
My booster block party suggestion where all the boosters come together, which I think would be great. Was it Rochelle or Dr. Troy who was talking about more like opening of Measure M project as we like some ribbon cutting.
Yes.
Invitations,
We're
kickoffs.
talking about the playground.
Yes.
Ribbon cutting, yeah, so ribbon cutting ceremonies.
Yes.
I think we should invite the senior citizen, the Huntington breakfast.
Yeah.
Give them a ticket and we give them satisfaction that they can sit there.
We could invite them to our state of the district
Oh, yeah.
address.
That's good too.
I think that's, you know, is that, then they can see the
That's
showcase of all of our students' performances and, yeah.
And it's
So-
continuing to fine tune and develop our state of the district. I think it would go here maybe too, so people are aware of our mission, vision, and our accomplishments over here and our students' successes.
You know, to do that right now, we have to start to establishing the amenities, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because otherwise, when the last day we think of.
It's too late, yeah.
Too late,
You
yeah.
have to wait another year.
Right.
Because those citizens, the senior citizens, they said, oh, I don't know what
I didn't hear.
this is doing, yeah. But I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I'm taxpayer.
Yeah. We'll just use your mailing list, Joseph. You have all the mailing.
Uh-huh. I think you've got the mailing list, right? You can share it.
But he's gonna knock at the door.
I know, yeah, personal invitation.
No,
If that's what it takes.
from today, you know, each one contribute about 10 name. Yeah. And email answer. So then quickly, we
Yeah.
have a database.
We can actually work with PT affiliates because they probably have a good list. Okay, so are we ready to
Yeah.
move to the fourth goal? Okay,
I am.
all right.
Is everyone else? Everyone's good? I think we are really doing great work right now. What was that?
Are we done?
More.
One more. I did also, in the meantime, email to everybody, I didn't put you on there, maybe someone forwarded it. Just some different acronyms that came up for these board goals, so, you guys can all take a look at that and see what you think, but. hold on. Board goal 4, prepare students for postgraduate success. Now, we would like to look at maybe future readiness and purposeful life. I think, you know, thinking about, are we preparing students for a landscape we don't even really know what it looks like? And the funny thing is, I feel like every year you could say that, or every generation you say that, and where you build in, like, that's the adaptability, the resilience,
Right.
Just being able to have critical thinking, but quantifying these things, obviously. Anyone jump in?
I think we need to measure them by survey too. Like when the high school graduate, this is one example. Like I saw one of the high school students, I was talking to them, he going to the PCC, but his goal was actually going to PCC, or that he couldn't
Yeah.
go to colleges, but he
Right.
wanna stay outside PCC a little bit, explore more. So
Yeah.
he intention to.
Sure.
Well, our school point of view, it was success because
Yeah.
this is his goal,
Right.
and he's happy with the school.
Yeah.
But if we just see the lack of articulations,
Right.
sometimes might think, oh, it's fake.
Well, exactly,
Yeah.
like people going into the trades, going into the military, taking a gap year to figure it out, and that, to me, that is, you know, we have prepared them because they're making these conscious decisions about their own futures. We're not defining what their future has to be by what are you on this college acceptance list.
That's exactly right.
But also going deeper all the way down to the elementary school students, so we have to apply to everyone, right? So I think, again, I'm UDL, PBIS, like, you know, instilling values that you can communicate, you can coexist with your fellow humans, and they have different opinions than you, and that's okay. And we're all our own person, and that starts at such a young age that they develop into these adults that can, you know, be successful postgraduate.
So I think we need to have a survey that, oh, you feel, do you feel like you succeed in your goal, or do you need more support from the school?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So,
Okay. I feel like
We
we
need
need
to-
in addition to what's already quantified, because all of what's like D to me is quantified through all the state tests.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, when they each have their own pathway.
Exactly. It's
But
that's
that's
more
what
geared
we're doing.
towards like, oh, do you feel prepared, which helps, but I feel like this is very quantifiable already because we have all the stats from Dr. Wolf on how many APs and who's taking what. Like that's very quantifiable and prepares students, and all like who's taking what electives and who's in a certain who's in robotics, who's all that's already there. But the next level for preparing students for postgraduate success. What did you just say? You said readiness, right? Did you say readiness?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like can we like advance? We're always preparing them, but now we're advancing student achievement. Advanced student achievement and future readiness.
One of the acronyms that I sent is destination readiness, which is postgraduate success. So it's like it's whatever their destination is. It's not.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but so we're getting into, what's underneath the goal, but let's work on the goal itself.
Do you say readiness for the future? Is that what you're?
Future readiness.
Yeah.
So is that the goal? Future ready? What do we put in up here? Are we just carrying this one over?
Well, I think for that one, can we put advanced student achievement and future readiness? Is that
Up here?
Yeah.
Advance?
goal?
Is that what you want the goal to be? Or do we have agreement? Say that again, advance.
Advanced student achievement?
Well, student achievement. Well, I guess so. Yeah, because that's better than
Yeah.
and future readiness.
And we can change it after we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
define it to change to keyword.
Yeah. Because I think like if we get our titles, it could be underneath a single word, and that is like a cue for what that goal is going to be, basically. Right.
Okay, so what else do we need under?
Well, this title is good, but we need to discuss how.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's their job.
That's there's a how.
We gotta say what it is.
You have to tell us what you want and we'll figure out what it is.
detail of what.
We want a program development to support, so that would be CTE, that would be,
Uh-huh.
Mind Getty or whatever, all the way down to the bottom. I like that this really applies to all grade levels.
That's right.
I think that's really good.
I think this is something that Shelley mentioned a long time ago, that we need to also have a highly gifted student support. So what I mean as a highly gifted is not just academic, but some students really good at art or dancing or singing, singing, so something like that. I'm feeling that we can support them more in the highly gifted kid in their area. I think that's gonna be.
You don't think we're supporting high achieving students?
No, I mean, I think we should support the second hands.
Well, my personal feeling is like we need to treat every student at every level, like meet them where they're at, instead of just giving extra to like the highest 5% something. I mean, I feel like we don't want the middle either. I think part of the perception too amongst our kids, like their own self identity, is that when you are in a regular class here, it's like less than, but these regular classes are already accelerated. And I don't think necessarily enough credit is given to that like middle 50.
I think what I mean as a highly gifted is not just that.
Okay,
That
well,
was
okay.
the first premises, yeah. Because we have a lot of kids doing the highly gifted in the lot of different area. Like, I was in dancing last time.
Okay.
It was like, oh my God, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do remember us
Yeah.
talking about that. But in other words, it's just, may I use Jackie as an example? So Jackie is very gifted in soccer, right? So how can we help her to accomplish her goals, which may be playing soccer in the college level? How do we facilitate for those journeys and paths that are not just, I want to be a doctor, right? Not just that. So I'm just saying, how do we, when we were having the discussion, it was, we don't, because we're such a small school, we don't just focus on dance. If you want to dance, you need to also go outside and do a, be part of a dance company, being part of a performance group. Because yes, we have 3 dance, exhibitions at our school or assemblies at our school, right? Dance center or whatever we're doing, dancing with the teachers. But to get at the next level of performance, you also do outside things. And I think Joshua and I were talking about something different than what I'm just trying to lend some background.
So do you want like, student specific, like support, like pathway support? So like, say somebody is an athlete and they go to the counseling department, we create a relationship for like a way for them to get where they want to go. Is that what you're getting at? Like if it's science Olympiad, like these kids, I mean, just give me a concrete example.
Well, besides that, we also need to study our current policy because I occasionally I go to the different center where the kids are athletes, but then they need to go out to training. So I don't know if the current, the high school, the policy, they are able to get the student in and out. Or
Oh, you're talking about
those
like
details.
making the requirement to take physical education.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I think that's the assignment you like to discuss. Yes.
So this is what I put up here. Support individual students' gifts/strengths and assist them in achieving their goals aligned with their strengths. This can happen through counseling, I'm thinking.
So you want to, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Counseling department. So personalized,
Skill. So like,
achievement plan.
I have one example.
Okay.
There was one kid who was really good at golf. So he was like a tournament and champions or whatever.
Okay.
The problem is he's going to tournament so much, he had to skip a lot of classes.
Yeah.
And some of
Yeah.
school teacher was penalized. Dr. Roof was working on it and complaining a lot. But that kid actually ended up leaving to the private school because he couldn't handle it with the public school. So that's one of the examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we got kind of accommodate like these different kids.
I agree with you
Yeah.
that the independent study program that we have in place right now could use some help. I think that
I mean, they're gonna figure it out. But
Okay.
I think we don't need to.
This another one is several.
independent
Yeah.
study is a little bit too independent. I think it probably could use a little bit more support. When I'm talking about short-term independence, maybe,
Okay.
and maybe long-term also is different.
We recently had a conversation at 2 of our school sites, and really emphasized, because we wanted to make it known that independent study is not an alternative to in-school instruction. It is only as needed, and only as approved by the administrator. Short-term and long-term passes regulations that we do have to follow.
Yeah.
Sure. I agree. But also I think the kids probably need some support with it too. And it's so dependent, right now, it's so dependent on individual teachers, what they're willing to put into it. And some of them are great at it, some of them are great at it, and some of them not so. So,
Okay, what about technology? What about things like that? Having skills that they need to carry with them into the future.
Well, before, we put a goal like a global citizen. right?
Mhm.
So, which
You love that one?
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I want to emphasize again, we really need to give our students have the opportunity like this, the outside. Because they are parents all time in the early 90s, always they are traveling in Asia and the LA. So I think that they are the vision. They are especially for those they I mean that we should not like limit, and then for example right now lot of things happen in the world. I don't know if that I know the for the title share, the student they write an article to talk about the nation politics issue, but besides that, they know about the economics. They know the tech happening in the world. So I think that the teacher or the school or the club need to help them to be to equip them ready.
So, Mr. Chang, what may I still, sorry, I just want to follow up with this idea. So, Mr. Chang, what I'm hearing you say is that we're going to need some sort of program or class or initiative to prepare the students for their understanding of what lies ahead, whether that would be mobile technology, whether there needs to be some sort of. So when kids come from middle school to high school, some schools have programs where they help them acclimate, right, themselves. In sixth grade, we help them after elementary school in it's a way in which we address their needs as sixth graders, incoming sixth graders. In ninth grade, we used to have how do we help these kids get them all situated, have buddies for them or whatever.
Yes.
So I'm thinking what I'm hearing Mr. Chang say for the next level of postgraduate, there needs to be some sort of maybe even a unit or a program, a class, something to help the kids really think about it, because while we're counseling them about colleges, we're really not counseling them on careers. We're really not giving them the information as they might need as they go up. So it's beyond PCC, it's beyond UCLA, USC, because once the kids get out there, the counseling is a little bit more detached, right? Because you're sitting at a university, you've got 9,000 kids. How are you counseling them in careers, right? And future things. So what is it they're going to need? What could they shore up on? What are the things? So that's the time to get them is in that 11th, 12th grade.
Right.
You have an option to do a module on that. Right,
Because financial literacy,
financial literacy is one, but
economics,
that can be scaled up from the middle school up.
right?
And then with this college career readiness, the career part is never touched upon. Really, no, it's not.
No,
It's
no,
not touched
I
upon.
totally agree. I totally agree.
Right.
It's just like, where are you gonna go now? But I think, so some of
We
the,
can gather parent input on that because it doesn't have to be a standalone. What it needs to be is it's a real type, kind of like when we do, I don't even call it right, but it might like sex ed or, when we're talking about sex ed.
Yeah.
That's done in 5th grade or 9th grade or whenever it's done. That's kind of what we also think they need as well. That's what I think.
yeah,
Right, Mr. Knight, did I put what you want?
So,
What you want.
I think, I think to fold into what my colleagues are saying, like the financial leadership, focusing on maybe what their skills and their interests would look like beyond just college, beyond just,
Right.
beyond
So
getting into school, or like ethics and leadership, career exploration, communication skills, financial literacy, technology literacy. But that sounds like a great like life skills kind of class that is at every level. You know, just like when we had kindergarten readiness, we had middle school readiness, and we used to have the summer school class. Do we still have it between 8th and 9th grade? Like the what do they call it? Like a transitional class.
I will have to check with BT affiliates on that. I think they do, but let me double check.
But we don't have a transition out of high school into college. Like, what do you need to know?
Right. No, good point. This is what I wrote down to capture your thoughts as you were talking. Create opportunities for students to learn skills necessary to be high functioning global citizens. I put that in there for Joseph. Develop a unit class program to prepare them for career readiness and independence. Independence meaning when you go off to college and your parents give you, a credit card, you have to manage your own budget. You have to manage your spending. So financial literacy and CTE, career technical education, gather parent input, and then look at the possibility of developing either a unit or a course on ethics, leadership, financial technology, and economics. All the skills and needs
critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
If I may add on, as you're talking about for the citizens and how to define that and all of the recommendations that you're putting up there now, it almost sounds like that is leaning towards what the profile of the graduate can look like.
Yeah, and I do want the board to consider going through that process. It's something that I was going to introduce to the board president. But looking at what you want the profile of a graduate to be in San Marino, it could be a 6-month process, a year-long process, but it will really help to guide your goal setting for next year if you want to invest in that process and you really are engaging all stakeholders in the educational process. So that would be you're engaging staff, students, community members, parents. It is a process that I want to talk with you all about. And we do have somebody who is very well versed. She does this professionally. She's a retired superintendent. Her name is Melissa Moore, and she is really good at working with stakeholders on this process. But then what you walk away with is something that you can post on your website, which is the profile of a San Marino High School graduate.
How much does it cost?
It's not that. I think it's I think it's around 15,000. But it's a year-long, process where a lot of data is collected and meetings have to happen periodically in the board meetings with the board, meetings with the community, meetings with parents, grandparents, students, administrators, teachers. It's a huge undergrad. You're going to pay more to recruit another superintendent than you would to develop a profile of a graduate. And I don't mean to say anything. I'm not making a statement. I'm just saying. No, it's just less expensive than like hiring a search firm. Yeah, but it's a process that many school districts go through and invest in.
Noted.
No, that wasn't much, but I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say like you're putting it in perspective. I'm putting it in perspective. I'm giving you something to compare it to. So but it's a worthwhile investment, and lots of school districts already have done their profile of graduate. I'm not sure if Alhambra, no. And Alhambra is a big district, or much bigger than we are. So it would be a more challenging and longer process. But anyway, we can talk about that in the future and see whether there's an appetite for that or not.
Then we should look at the proposal.
All right. Okay. So let's see what we have up here on the board for our 4 goals for 26, 27. We have ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environments that promote student wellness and belonging. We have either maintain or enhance strategic fiscal sustainability and future academic program innovation investments to protect educational excellence and support long-term goal. Enhance community partnerships, advance student achievement and future readiness.
My suggestion, we set up the goal for 26 to 27. I think the start from this year, we should also have a one page set aside. Those they are the long-term goal.
Oh,
So
Multi-year.
as the
yeah,
like the memorandum, so she and then later next year we when we discuss, then we can follow up. What is the current?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my suggestion.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to?
No. I mean, pick up from those.
Oh, yes.
If you guys meet, you can pull out.
Yes, we're
Right
now. Yes,
Because
Each one.
got it.
that will fair for
Sure.
switching. Otherwise, we are not in the 1 year. You
Right.
you guys have to
Yes,
think.
okay, we'll go through that.
I would like to add into our last goal, I really think that we should put some work into our, future of education roadmap. Like, what do we want? What do we want it to look like? And that's very like, I think it's sort of what you're saying about, it's not really profile of a graduate. It is, what does the environment look like? What are we investing in? What kind of programs? What does the classroom look like?
Yeah, I like that.
Just like our facilities master plan, we need like an educational master roadmap. Can I review what our group said yesterday about what would help the district? Yeah, I mean, everyone had their suggestions that I thought were worthwhile, so 3 actions that show stronger and more effective governance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so jump in if I misquote you, but I just took some notes on each group. So Dr. Rose and Mrs. Ryan said legal issue responses, board accessibility is a double-edged sword. People can surpass the chain of command, and board member passion projects can become, I guess, like myopic, but we need to. What was the point of that?
The point of that was it can drain and take our academic staff in a different direction that is not board driven. And it's not, it doesn't support all students. It's not student centered. It may be specific to, one person's passion. You know, I use the scoreboard as that.
So is there anything of those that we feel should go into any of these goals? Without sparking.
Well, the first one really, the legality was really just staying in your lane and letting the cabinet do their thing. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong in saying that. And the second one, I mean,
We're just talking about how board accessibility, like double-edged sword.
right, but then we put on one of the goals that we needed to work as a team in terms of, so we're gonna use it as the better edge of the sword, that we need to kind of really build up the capacity, not only our cabinet members, but also our board members in terms of being more strategic, perhaps more streamlining, perhaps not, you know, like if 5 of us went to the PTA meeting, would that, no, right? But
one.
yeah, 1 or 2 of us go, but you're very good about notifying me, like if you can't go or you need to be there, you know, just for additional voice or something. So that's very good. I did the same thing, Joseph and I, when we were working together with a group or a priority. When he couldn't go, I went. When I couldn't go, he went. And we kind of kept each other accountable for what was being done or said. And so you do that with Joseph on the bond. So that's another thing. So the last thing was. So
That's
we had
it.
to put that
was it.
we only had 2 things.
Well, you addressed all 3 things.
All about the passion. Okay, so we're not,
So the next one was Ms. Lamb and Dr. Richter, we want to enhance effective communication, something like the WBM.
Does that go somewhere?
Proposal school sites do this to the executive team, and I guess that's sort of like their scorecards that you shared with us, and that's their
For the school sites?
Ours was like making even more frequent, like weekly, but not that we wanted to add additional.
But they're already sending it out.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. It's like, but we just aren't seeing maybe those could be shared with us, but in the board members, stuff. If it's there, do you want to keep those?
I think that we sound correct if I'm working, we're working about enhancing the communication, so there's no surprises, so we can get ahead of the narrative.
Right.
More like, and you didn't get a copy with the rest, but we looked at how the weekly board member works, so always keeping the board apprised of information. Maybe something, and we can brainstorm like running Google Doc where at the end of the week, every 2 weeks, principals can just start having it's accessible to Dr. Delatory and she can delegate it to cabinet. Just so we can get ahead when they start, the murmuring start at the school site.
Yeah, that was really more what it was. Yeah, not necessarily like our board, like a little bit more casual and informal, but like, hey, it's happening. And if nothing is happening, nothing is, you don't have to go that.
Yeah. And I think it works both ways, Glenna and Linda.
Yes.
Because I'll just give an example of something that happened long time ago regarding a bathroom issue at Harvard.
Mhm.
So if Jason is already aware that the principal Stuart is working on it, then he doesn't need to, micromanage and look at staffing or what we're doing with that. And then the person or the persons involved in that can feel assured that it's been addressed. So
Yeah,
on that
right.
site level, there's not going to be any
Yes.
issues when we invite the community in.
Right.
If there's any bathroom confusion or whatever. So
Okay.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
This situation.
Yeah.
So something like that. So if
Yeah.
there was a blurb that went out and said, we've already addressed it, we've taken care of it, then everybody can feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
and that we don't
Okay.
micromanage it. Say,
Right.
okay, so
So
I think that's great.
2 was measurable metrics for our goals, which I think that's definitely built in. 3 was focus on transparency, path to influential community members, and strengthen relationships. I think that those are all.
that's already.
Okay, great. Dr. Choi and Mr. Chung wanted to have small group meetings to respond to foundations and to teach them about our budget. I may be butchering that a little bit, but really getting our community partners like a better understanding, right, of our budget. I think that has been worked in. Bring visibility to bond projects, having some kickoff. Prioritize timely attendance to board functions. I think that also goes into what Shelley was saying, like there are some events where we need full board attendance, and there are some that we don't, like one board member or you could 2, whatever, if we happen to be available. But we need to make sure that all these events in our community are given our attention.
Is that something Jennifer can help us with?
Yes.
In some direction from Dr. Delford.
Yeah,
I
love
love Jennifer said to me, if you are available, there's a concert, so then I read that word if, right?
Yeah. So we should say we need board to attend.
Well, let's make sure that we have board representation.
right.
Or be very clear about we need,
Yes.
2.
Yeah, so then she would know, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Right. Yeah, of course.
sure, and just make sure we have coverage, because I do think it matters to our community that they're seen there. And it matters because they don't see necessarily the work that goes in behind the scenes, but we want to make sure that their programs feel the appreciation and get the attention, and we care about all of them.
Right, but on the other hand, I know this is gonna be a very sensitive subject. On the other hand, we also expect requisite number of cabinet attendance in these events. One of the things that strikes me is when I'm attending an event, if there's 400 people in a space and we're not able to access members of our cabinet, our administrative staff. So that's a concern to me. I know Linda says that we could have a designated teacher with an admin credential, but I feel very strongly about it. And so I just feel that there needs to be that same intensity and support from each other as a team. We talk about this, right? The transparency. If you need us to show up, we're going to show up. And the same vein, if it's a curriculum adoption and we really want Linda to show up, then she's got to show up, and it doesn't matter. If she doesn't, she's got to appoint somebody to show up. It can't be just left like, oh, it's like, like, yeah, but even in site events, right?
Well, I think you're especially right. I mean, if something goes wrong at an event, we definitely need an administrator from a site there, which I think is pretty much policy.
Yeah,
But if it
right.
doesn't have to,
Yeah.
I mean, it is policy, right?
Yeah, I mean, during the traditional school year, yes, absolutely. We usually, I can't think of an instance where we don't have an administrator during the traditional school year on campus.
Or events. All of it.
Or events. I mean, our high school principal shows up to all of the football games. Our assistant principal is at the football games. Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody. And then we have the athletic director who is usually at all of the away games and all of the on-campus games after school.
Right. So,
You know as I know I think Jennifer is make an effort to notify the board, to attend the activity. But as a board, we also need to respond. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, and that could be something that like whoever's president at the time can coordinate with Jennifer, and she could say, I'm only seeing nobody's signed up for this, or there's only one, or like,
Yeah.
and then we just need to communicate on that.
Sure.
Be more intentionally.
Yeah,
Instead, I usually just look at the I love having the calendar invites to thank you for doing all this.
Yeah.
But then I maybe do the next step.
You know what? I do want to go back to the administrator thing because I'm thinking about when I have leadership meetings, which happens in every school district, right? And I have all of the principals come to my office. They designate a teacher at their schools to be the on-site designee, which is permissible under the law. So that if something happens, they can still drive back because we're a small town, right? They can drive back from my office. If you're a Huntington Middle School principal, you can walk across the parking lot to get back to your school. If you're Valentine, you can walk, 2 minutes and be at your campus. But there are times when we do have kids in class, and that's an example where we have a teacher at Carver, Gail Denham has an administrative credential. And so even though she's teaching her class, if there was an emergency, another teacher could come in and watch her class. And, it's never ideal, but it's an emergency situation until Dr. Caldwell could get back to his school. And then we have now an assistant principal who is shared between the two schools. And she can't be in two places at one time. So one school may be covered during a principal's meeting and the other may not. So I just want to make sure that we understand, how that functions. And that is the way it works in every school district that I know. So. Any questions about that or?
Well, no, that's an organization, that's a management perspective, but I just want you to see our perspective in terms of under the heading enhancing safety and wellness.
Yes.
That if there's a certain number of parents there or kids there, I don't care if it's summer school or an evening event like a band performance. If there is a designated teacher there with an admin credential, then let us know who it is.
Yes.
It can't be, we're going to search and I have to go out and call you.
Right.
Something. It can't be like that.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing when a parent comes up and says, who's in charge here?
Yes.
And I don't want to say it's me, so I go, it's an administrator, but I can't find the administrator. I'm just saying, let's just be mindful of how we're held accountable, that we need the administrative staff and cabinet to also uphold
Yes.
their responsibility.
Of course.
If they can't be there, they have to just delegate.
Yeah.
But
They
they can
can't
do
be
the
there.
delegating.
Yeah, you know, Stephen's gonna show up and be there and, you know,
Yeah.
present on curriculum or talk to parents about
Right.
it or let us know.
Yeah.
Right? We can't just be,
So we will let the Board of Education know who those designees are at the beginning of the 26-27 school year, so that you never are left to guess or wonder. That if the principal is not there for some reason and the assistant principal is not there for some reason, this person's going to be in charge. So that you have sort of a hierarchy of people who are responsible.
yeah, and that also speaks to transparency and
Yes,
safety,
agreed.
because we shouldn't not know if there is an emergency. We talked a little bit about the call and the threats and the safety
yeah.
of the school.
Right.
It doesn't happen always during the school day between 8 and 3, right?
That's right.
Sometimes it happens at 5:30 at night or 9 p.m.
That's very
It
true.
happens.
Yes.
And if you're always on call, if you're always the designated person to drive back, that's not as secure in
Mhm.
terms of the building out the capacity.
So you're saying like if the principal notifies
Her should
so
also.
you tell the board to
Yes.
it's on site.
It
training for the event.
Yes.
Or even putting it on, the community communications, like at the bottom on site.
Yeah.
Supervisor for that event.
Mm-hmm.
People know who that name would be.
Yes.
If they see Dr.
Yes.
Hill, they would know.
Right.
I mean, if something happens, at least it would be already sort of in the
Yeah.
top of their mind who to go to.
Right.
I don't
Of course. Okay.
okay, so and then your fourth thing, because you guys are so extra, you said the board president should actively help board members follow up on their committee assignments, which I think is a very good point, and we should be revisiting those community subcommittee assignments that we talked about at the beginning of our board year in November, December. We should have those reported out on during
Can I
our
make a
board
comment?
member
15
communications.
minutes,
Yeah.
yeah, instead of doing that.
Yeah,
Can I make a comment?
Please.
Board member,
Yeah.
you know, I know sometimes it's tough, you know, because each of us, we have our maybe full-time job or we have a kid to take care. But once we commit, we want to be the school board member. So we need to take a responsibility. And also, you know, it is better we always rotate for the committee assignment because that's the way you can see the whole picture. Yeah. That's you know we are the volunteer. You know we don't have the boss to push us to say you do it. As our boss is you know the Smalino community. You know when we are doing something, I think that they are open eye to see us. They elect us. They want to us to participate and to present them. So that's really very important. I give the board president some suggestion. Yeah, we also need to rotate. Yeah. So I think it's important to go in to be the board member. Yeah.
okay, then, Mr. Thum and Mrs. Meyer, the first suggestion was, additional closed session time, but perhaps maybe it's additional, like special meeting time, perhaps over Zoom. There's could be more time for discussion to go deeper into different issues. I think is kind of the point of that, when as needed. Yeah.
So that should be something you feel comfortable in picking up the phone and letting the board president know, hey, Fran, we're gonna need an extra half an hour. Under this heading, right, because we have to agendize everything, under this agenda, I would like a little more time to, discuss. And
Or
you want it
just
on Zoom,
Or just have
Yeah, you want it on Zoom?
Yeah, well, I mean, to make it easier for everybody, right? It's so hard to come more.
So the whole closed session on Zoom or just half an hour and then we
No,
jump
I'm
on
not whole closed session.
the whole closed session so that you understand what he's asking.
Next week, Tuesday,
He's asking for off meeting.
That's our closed meetings, I thought we discussed that.
No, but that's why we would have to do it as a special.
Special,
I think there could be a
so
special.
under that category, Jim, there can only be certain things on special.
Correct.
Yeah, we cannot.
So there can only be certain things on closed.
Yes,
Right,
so,
yeah.
so we'll have to share with Joshua what those are.
Yeah,
So we
okay,
can.
okay, yeah.
They have to be pre-scheduled, only certain items, and we would not be able to conduct a regular closed session with everyone on Zoom,
Correct. Okay. So that answers your
unfortunately.
I will send the entire board all of the topics that can be agendized under closed session.
What
yeah,
about special?
yeah, special too.
Special but open, I'm saying.
Oh, special but open?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like.
I think the only thing about special is that it's within 24 hours and you can only have a special meeting for certain things.
I think he just wants, if we need more time for certain things, we make it and it's on Zoom and it's on off week, right? But kind of where you're going.
And it's kind of probably get used to something you don't comfortable with the meeting. It's so hard to the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, next was connecting the foundation and PTA, Measure M and AI task force and board goals, like copy with a board member. Just, I think more, access, like that was organized so people don't feel like, uncomfortable just calling up a board member and saying, can we have coffee or something, right?
No, I'm thinking about like having a schedule meeting, like
First
6 months. Yeah, first month, the coffee is different. So then you're gonna have a like little coffee meeting. We saw like usually you're gonna host it.
Are we gonna compete against who shows up or?
So that's why we're gonna have the each board and each month. Yeah, but probably count the
So-
number.
Yeah, okay, we can talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
board member outreach.
Yeah.
More, sure, something, okay.
Okay,
good.
okay.
We can pair up with a cabinet member,
yeah, that's the number.
Yeah.
well, like coffee with coffee.
I think part of that too is, when schools are set for the next school year is our, part of like the community partnership. That our community partners understand what our board goals are as well, so it's like we're all
Yeah.
on the same page and working together to meet those goals and not feel so separate as units.
I think that's great. So
Yeah, that's really good.
tell me where to show up.
Yeah.
She's on board. I love that. Okay, and then, and that's sort of also folded into your like lunch and learn, meet with the board members. I think those are great. Those lunch and learns are really helpful with especially like our senior community. I think we should continue that work for
Yeah.
sure.
And Dr. Choi and I will schedule a lot of lunch and learns for the parcel tax consolidation measure, should the board decide it wants to support that. And tonight at the board meeting, you're going to hear from FM3 on the community survey results. And so I'm sure we'll have to bring back a resolution if the board decides to go in that direction. But if the board does make that decision, Dr. Choi and I are going to really work hard on educating our community on our budget and the parcel tax and why we need both parcel taxes. There is a big difference between ongoing revenue and one-time money, and we need the ongoing revenue to support our schools. So we will schedule those, and we would like a board member or two to be present at those lunch and learns. So
Okay, and then finally, Dr. De La Torre and I, in our conversation, for more effective governance, to align school site handbooks to the board goals and vision. And I think that could also go deeper to our websites, which I think have gotten a nice makeover of late. Thank you very much, Rochelle. and Bach. So I think just continuing on having links to everything and having, what everybody has at their events be current events, and that's probably staying on the top of the school sites. But, somebody's dedicated to that, but you gotta go figure it out how to do. Number 2 is more effective subcommittee work. Leveraging individual experience, knowledge to work with staff in their own sphere of knowledge. So it kind of is like a counterbalance also to what Mr. Chang was saying about rotating subcommittees. That's why I think maybe having 2 subcommittee members is really valuable, because I do think that if there's a board member who has a specialty, they can add to the conversation, but then maybe there's a board member who doesn't have that specialty and can learn from being there. So those are both valuable, I think.
By the way, Jennifer, we need your help, all the subcommittee, the minutes, yeah. So then you can maybe put in the border, so all the board members, if they are not attend, so they can read.
Sure. Yeah, but we just haven't had a lot of subcommittee things lately, right?
Well, I think at least I think that the fund oversight committee, yeah, and the safety, right?
Yeah.
And the school foundation.
And like the PTA notes,
Yeah.
those are easily attainable, right?
Yeah, but it's just easy access.
No, I mean, it's not like Jennifer is gonna go take those notes, is my point. Like,
No,
she's gathering it.
they're submitting it to you.
Yeah.
And you're putting it in.
I think it's
So maybe Linda, you could tell the PTA presidents too that that's what we would like, and they could just get their secretary, correspondence secretary, send it over.
You want the minutes of all the PTA meetings too?
That's
Is that what I heard you saying?
what you're saying,
Or do you want just the subcommittee? I thought we were talking about subcommittees.
Charlie?
How are we going to ensure everybody's on the same page if we don't? So I just, off the top of my head, I thought of the top 3, the bond.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
PTA work,
Yes.
and then whatever other committee you guys feel is
Oh,
really.
like schools foundation
school foundation.
and safety and the safety committee.
Yeah, so those might be, because they're part of our board goals, right?
yes.
And so if I don't know what's happening in,
And just a note to us as board members, she can put it in there, but we have to open it up and read it. So we can ask for it, and we need to follow up and do our part too, and doing that work. Okay, so that was something, and then 3 was our future of learning framework, the roadmap of education to like long range strategic planning for that.
Yes.
I think we put that out. So
Yeah.
is there anything else? Any final thoughts? Guys, these are awesome. Look at these pages that were empty 2 hours ago.
Well,
3 hours ago.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to praise our board president, yeah. So you did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the credit goes to
Yeah.
people who make us look good.
The administration, yeah.
I mean,
it's written out.
that's what it
Just
just
say
says.
it's you.
And yeah, just in that. And saying, again, not listening today.
Shelley will keep you grounded. She'll keep you.
There's just.
All the way, I'm sure
That's like, it's all me, it's
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, so it's like, oh, it is, yeah, no, but really, thank you guys, I mean. It's amazing, like, we are truly a high performing school district because of the hard work that you put in, and, we're obviously a very lean, machine here, because there's no extra fat to cut out, I'm just thinking, like, this is literally everybody. So, thank you.
I want to thank the Board of Education and your leadership, President Gill. This is a highly effective Board of Education. I think that the experience that is sitting around this table is very valuable, in addition to the fresh look at things. And so you have the perfect blend of new and experienced ideas that are coming to the table. It's really important to have institutional knowledge, which you have, but also to take a fresh look at things and see where, we might be able to do things differently. It's easy to fall into that same old, well, this is how we've done it for years. And this Board of Education is not settling for this is how we've done it for years. You're really taking us to the next level and pushing us to do our very best and pushing us to do better and do more. And I really appreciate that you make us a better, stronger team through your leadership and your governance. And so I want to just applaud all of you for your hard work. And I want to thank Kwok for his support as our Director of Technology. He is Johnny on the spot and always keeps things up and running and keeps us organized. And so thank you for your expertise and your professionalism. And to my wonderful team, all of you are just the best of the best at Thornville Prep. So thank you so much. We've done a lot of work here today, and we're going to take all of this information back, and we are going to develop action plans for 26-27 that are going to be department and site specific. And we'll be looking forward to sharing that with our Board of Education at the beginning of the school year. So thank you for your hard work and your commitment to this process.
Before-
Can we look at those acronyms?
Yeah, lead. I like the lead.
Okay, so just to have it on record, like what we are talking about. Well, we are discussing. We're discussing. I have four options that number one would be lead, which would be learning environments of safety and wellness, economic sustainability, fiscal health, awareness and partnership, which is community engagement, and D, destination readiness, postgraduate success. Okay, so it fits naturally with the mission of preparing students to lead meaningful lives. Option 2, PATH, which is focused on student journeys. P for postgraduate success, A for awareness and community partnership, T for thriving and wellness, and H for healthy finances, and creating a path for every student. 3.
That doesn't, I like PATH because it's focused on student centeredness. But I don't like it because it's confusing because is it really about student journeys when it's the work of the board and the cabinet? Because like kids, it's not about the kids' journey if we're doing healthy finances, right? Like they don't have anything to do with
That's
it.
not that.
Yeah, that's not their path, or nor is it awareness of community partnerships. Why would they need to know about Chinese club, like unless their parents are in the Chinese club?
Well, let's go to option 3 because I think you might like this one. RISE, more modern strategic plan style, readiness for the future, investment in sustainability, safe and supportive schools, engagement and community partnership.
But we already have T-shirts that have lead. Well, we just got the T-shirts yesterday. You didn't open it, did you?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Eating, I took pictures of it because
Let me see it. Let me see it.
well,
Okay, option 4 would be ABCD reimagined. So since our current goals are already ABCD, achieve well-being, build sustainability, connect community, develop future ready rather than AI.
So since we have T-shirts,
Well,
that's at the back.
well,
So if you like lead, that's good to me.
See, I opened.
So we're doing lead?
Because of the t-shirts.
well, I don't know.
I like the house.
You guys.
I'm just teasing her, you guys.
Okay.
She did a lot of work on this AI stuff.
We can order new shirts for you.
Yeah, give the new shirts.
No, okay, so I mean,
Which
is anyone
Okay,
connecting to, what did you say when we first started? What were you connecting
the
with?
first one, lead, right?
Lead. I like the lead.
Yeah, because that is like coming from a board level,
Yeah.
right?
Lead. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you just send me it? Or just tell me what it is.
I did.
She sent it to you.
I did email it to you, but
Oh, you're getting it? Okay.
learning environments,
Learning environments.
as they really.
Because it's their path, it's not our path, right? Like,
But
you think about it,
then we would still,
Rise is-
use
Yes.
these, but.
it is about them rising, but they're not gonna worry about
But I do-
engagement in the community.
I do really love Joshua when he brought this to the table because I feel like we've been doing these goals and this is like a new branding that's like really strong. I mean, and it's something that we're very intentional about. We want to lead.
Josh designed the t-shirt for us.
He's gonna
Yeah, that is not my speech.
Wow.
I'll have my daughter do it. She did all the ASB. E economic sustainability. I'll screenshot it. Thank you. I'll just.
Okay, rise or lead it is, right? Everybody say that?
Yes, this is-
E.
Okay, so you're leading on the t-shirt. So we're being very fiscally responsible because we're not trashing it, right? Make it yes. Okay.
So I feel young enough.
Well, I really appreciate it. I feel like Mr. Chang, even though he's like our longest standing, I really appreciate how you have like you're still, adapting and evolving and keeping fresh ideas. It's amazing. So thank you.
Then shows you first of all, I've got report for the last year. If give me give my grandkid. So it's a simple party. But from the latte, I'm thinking about human life. When I go to this age, but then I'm able to go back to the young life. So every day I have another thinking and I see the for my last several decades it is doing enough for my kid. Yeah. So it's like the new life.
Yeah.
For my mind. So then I can pay more attention every day for the age from the 0 month to 1 year. And then because they are moving very quick.
Yeah.
Every month is like a learning. Yeah. So thank you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Well, I think do we have anything else?
No, that's it.
We are adjourning and we will reconvene for closed session in the board room at 2 p.m. to open closed session. And then we will go into open session in the boardroom at 3 p.m. And we're going to have a full agenda. Everybody please be on time and be succinct in your updates. Dr. Choi is going to give us some great info on budget. We have a lot of things to vote on. So we will see you back at the district office at 2 p.m. Thank you. And you want to add anything? Okay, meeting at 11:43.